guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Jerry Ohm Dodge in Tampa, Florida, and guess what? We have one of the biggest muscle car reinventions of the 21st century. This is the 2020 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack wide body and an all-new color for 2020, Sinamon Stick. But before we dive in to this MOPAR product, let's talk about what's going on here. So in the year 2020, you could have your muscle car many different ways, but one brand that does it truest to the form is definitely the masterminds at Dodge. With the Challenger, you could have it really your way. So many different engine choices, so many different styles and the colors, and especially the names of the colors. Now, when it comes to your hard-earned money and really looking for the best muscle car performance, is the Challenger Scat Pack wide body really the best way to go? And should you be getting down to your local Dodge dealership to snatch up one of these Sinamon Sticks? And when we talk about the spelling of the word, it's not cinnamon like you think, it's cinnamon as in S-I-N. So we definitely have brought the holy water for this review, and we're gonna bring it to you in that big on-throttle experience. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this 2020 Challenger Scat Pack wide body, featured in that new Sinamon Stick color, and see, really, is it the best for 2020? Right off the bat, the styling. I think once you go wide body, you never go back. You never go to narrow body again. Even though the narrow body Challengers and Chargers still have a great look, there's just something about that extra 3 inches. Nobody's ever gonna turn down an extra 3 inches. I promise you that. But you're gonna get that extra width, and boy, oh boy, with this cinnamon color, really looking great. Sinamon Stick, that's what they call it. As we drop down, you're gonna get that really essence of the original 1970 Challenger, because the Challenger name goes all the way back to 1970. That was right at the peak of the muscle car days. But boy, oh boy, they hollow out that center headlight, gives you that nice direct airflow, looks really aggressive. You got your LED daytime running lamps that run around the trim. Flat black, and then as we come across that egg crate grill, you're gonna get the classic Challenger script with your RT badge. Now, if you're wondering, well, what does RT stand for? It stands for Road and Track. That was an option that you could have done back in the day where you would get extra handling and braking goodies. And guess what? When you go wide body, it's not just about getting the extra 3 inches. There's some other touches which I'm gonna point out that make this really, when you look at the price, not only the best looking of the muscle cars in my eyes, but also one where you are getting some extra goodies besides fender flares. Now down below, you're gonna get that same flat black egg crate style grill, massive splitter. I'm talking about you could have Thanksgiving Day dinner outside in your garage around your Scat Pack, put the gravy, the mashed potatoes, have some turkey over here on the corner. But you can see just how menacing, in a good way, that this looks. And the great news is, even the corner vents, everything is functional. That's another thing that I like. Now, when you get up onto the hood, you're gonna have that power bulge. Every guy, every girl wants to have a nice bulge. You have the functional center scoop, and you have your functional heat extractors. Just the way that the layout of the vents have formed these shapes, it's just so organic, so purposeful, and just so damn right beautiful. It's like I want to take this hood off and just hang it up in my garage. It's a piece of artwork, it really is. Now, as we come around the bend, you notice that fender flare. What I do like is the way they took that splitter and brought it up to create that extra aero work that's gonna kick everything down the side of the vehicle. Now, like I told you, when you go wide, you're not just going extra body, but look at these wheels. 20 by 11.5 inch wheels. Love the design, that nice deep dish look. You're looking at 305s. 305 on the width, all 4 corners wrapped in these Pirelli tires. Really just gives it that extra something kind of sprinkled on to this Sinamon Stick Challenger that just makes it stand out. But I love the flat black. You got flat black on those 6 piston calipers. So when you go wide body, you're getting the bigger wheels, bigger tires, bigger brakes. 6 piston rather than the 4 piston. Also, look at those rotors. 2-piece rotors, aluminum hat, slotted rotor, fully ventilated, and you're getting adaptive suspension. So you go through the different modes, it's actually gonna retune the suspension. Now I know, yes I know, The chassis underneath all this sheet metal goes back to the early 2000s, but there's still something very, very special as I just stare at this car that just makes my heart pitter patter, and I love it. Going down the fender treatment, you got a 392 badge, 392 cubic inches. There's that old saying in muscle car terminology, no replacement for displacement. That's what the Scat Pack is all about. And I love the badging, like that bumblebee spinning up the tires. That's how I live my life. Smoke them if you got them. On throttle. That's what we do. Color matched in the mirror caps, nice classic look. You got your high belt line. Everything else, the silhouette has gone unchanged. And it's going to be interesting where they're going to take this car when they redesign it. But for now, it's still outselling the Camaro, if you could believe that. Working your way back, that classic muscle car silhouette. Of course, as we wrap it around the back, you are going to get a limited slip diff. You got this massive flat black trunklet spoiler with the Scat Pack badge. There's our Bumblebee again. Watch how he's going to sting you. The Dodge name. I love the LED taillights. The one thing I just wish on the wide body they would change up is give me some quad tip exhaust. 2 outlets on each side I think would just really help differentiate the Scat Pack from the rest of the different vehicles, but you have that flat black gray finish on the bottom, nice and wide. Let's pop the hood and see that Hemi that's underneath it. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. One of the crazy things about the Scat Pack wide body, would be the way that I would buy one. If I was looking for a daily driver muscle car, this would be the way that I would buy it, because I feel that it's got the perfect balance of look, style, and of course performance. And this new color, Sinamon Stick, this would be high up on my list. But underneath the hood, first of all, there's that bulge that we all love. You can see how the air is going to come down and cool, help bring some cooler air onto that intake and whatnot. But when you're looking at that 6.4 liter Hemi, that's a naturally aspirated engine, 392 cubic inches. This is the largest engine that Dodge produces. It's bigger than the one found in the Hellcat or even the Demon. What I love are those covers that say powered by SRT. Remember, SRT stands for Street and Racing Technology. Brought us the Viper, brought us the Demon, brought us the original Hellcat. Now, what's fascinating is that this 392 is actually an iron block. Many of the other competitors have switched over to aluminum blocks, but you have an old school iron block. Horsepower out of the 392, 485 horsepower, 475 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The challenge for the Challenger is that she's a little heavy. She's 4,250 pounds, but boy, oh boy, 0 to 60 in about 4.7 seconds. Top speed, 176 miles an hour. MPGs, if you're concerned about that, let me send you down over to Toyota. Pick yourself up a Prius or maybe even a RAV4 hybrid or something. But you're looking at 14 in the city, 23 on the highway. But you're having that old school muscle car feel. And you know what? At the end of the day, if this isn't enough power for you, you could go Hellcat. You could even go Hellcat Red Eye or that new Challenger Super Stock coming. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this muscle car and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this super muscle car with that 392 cubic inch engine. I know you're at that point, you're like, Joe, well, how much is this? And I really feel that the Challenger Scat Pack wide body does bring a lot of value for the money. MSRP, the way that this one is optioned, is right around $48,000. One of the biggest highlights of not only the Challenger, but also the Scat Pack wide body is that 8.4 inch Uconnect system with the performance pages. So we have the performance pages up, and you can see the different settings that you could go into. You got all your digital readouts for all the different inner workings, so that when you're taking this to the drag strip, you can make sure everything is just okie dokie before you run it down the quarter mile. You got your G-force meter. We could go into engine data. It even has a live dyno where as you are driving, it will register how much horsepower, how much torque that you are running. And then, you know, you could go into your timers, you got all that different setups. And then If you want to switch over, you got your acceleration, your braking. And then once you go ahead and hit your different drive modes, what's wonderful about this is you have your shift light set up. You have launch control, line lock, so you could do that nice smoky burnout. And then you could go into your drive modes, which is real simple. So you can leave it in auto, you can set it up custom and have everything custom tuned for your particular driving style, sport, and then of course track, which is wonderful. And I love the way it shows the 392, the running gear. You can see the drive shaft, the transmission. It's all that cool stuff that makes this extra awesome. And then even the technology. I mean, you have heated seats, heated steering wheel, you can get ventilated seats, and it's just super clear and everything. But why don't you come over probably to the bigger piece of the puzzle, the business end. I want to show you behind the wheel of this Sinamon Stick Challenger Scat Pack wide body. All right, guys, business time. The great news about the Challenger compared to the competition, lots of room in here, and I'm really feeling comfortable. Seats have decent bolstering up top, nice and comfy on the bottom. It's obviously full cloth on this particular trim, but the steering wheel, very, very thick wrapped, flat bottom. I wish they would do something with the horn button. It's not very sexy. It's not very muscle car. I'm gonna zonk it. Also the paddles. We have this muscle, bound car here that's got these big, huge biceps for tires and engine and everything, but then we have these little dinky paddles. It would be nice to have the larger paddles that you find on the Ram TRX, but the dash setup is super clean. It's got a little bit of analog. It's got a little bit of retro design to it. And then as you scroll through the different information, now you got even more gauges that you could put in that center display, and it is clear as day. You can see the top of the hood perfect as you're lighting up to the tree, and then boy, oh boy, live your life a quarter mile at a time in this Sinamon Stick. Just bring some extra holy water to just douse yourself down when you're done running that quarter mile. But why don't we go ahead, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go and do some on-throttle action in this Challenger Scat Pack wide body. All right, guys, we're in the 2020 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack wide body. Just right away, I love the dimensions of this car. And like I said, even though it is really, it's a big car. It's larger than a Mustang, larger than a Camaro for sure. It just has that old school feel. But let's do a little bit of on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Smoke them if you got them. Yeah! I'm telling you, it shifts so quickly, and like I said, you don't have to go Hellcat to spin up the rear tires, that's for sure. You could get plenty done smoking them in this Scat Pack wide body, and it's more manageable. I mean, if this was a Hellcat, we would have just sat there, and I probably would have went through about 3 sets of tires. Here, you blow a little smoke, and then guess what? You get out of there, and you're off and running. Now, the great news is, going with this particular trim, the full cloth seats with the houndstooth, very, very comfortable. Even more comfortable, I think, than the leather and suede, microfiber suede seats. You do have the electric assist for the bottom portion. Top portion is manual for the driver, so I am gonna zonk that. I wish they would just power the whole thing, but overall, very, very comfortable place to be in. We got the performance pages up, and even visibility out the back, it's super clear, which is great. And that's what makes this a daily driver that you'll be able to do your thing, go to the store, go to work, pick the kids up. And how cool is that you're picking up your kids at school in a muscle car? I wish my mom picked me up at school when I was a kid in a station wagon, so with the wood grain trim on the side. So that's what we were getting picked up in. If she was picking me up in one of these, boy oh boy, that would have been a special experience. But definitely when you go through the different modes, you are changing the steering feel and everything. Obviously when people are riding their bikes, they fly right towards the Challenger because it's like a moth through a flame, especially the Sinamon Stick. It was really drawing that guy in, so thankfully we did not hit him. But typical day on Rady's Rides, never a dull moment on Rady's Rides, that's for sure. But even driving down this road, everything is smooth. You get that rumble of that glorious V8 underneath the hood, that 392, and that Sinamon Stick color. I really think that's really drawing people to this car even more so. But let's go ahead and get on throttle again, huh? On throttle, here we go. The shifts, I'm telling you, the ZF 8-speed is probably one of the best automatics. It's not a DCT. one of the best automatics, and it helps you get that power to the ground. Yes, you can get a manual, and it's a Tremec, and it's a really good manual. It's just, if you want to be efficient, if you want to have that ease of use, the ZF 8-speed really is a great automatic transmission. Shifts within nanoseconds of each gear. All right, guys, driving around in this Challenger Scat Pack Widebody is a ton of fun. Steering feels great. You got those 305s, all four corners, and when you're ready to merge, on throttle, here we go. Yeah! It puts a smile on your face every time you drive it. And guess what? When you park it, you know how you picked a good one? As you're walking away, you turn back and you stare at it for a little while. And you're just like, damn, she looks good. That's what you get with this car. And that's why I love them. I really, really do. And they're just a ton of fun. They have their faults, but you know what? There isn't a perfect car. And I don't think the Challenger Scat Pack Widebody is trying to be a perfect car, but boy, oh boy, is it a fun car? Yes, 110%. All right, guys, we're gonna do another acceleration test here from a dead stop. On throttle, here we go. Smoke them if you come, yeah! Oh my, this car, I'm telling you, is awesome. I wanna drive it home, park it right next to my Shelby. Talk about hashtag dream garage. Got my Shelby GT350R and a Challenger Scat Pack Widebody Sinamon Stick. This really would be the muscle car I would drive for a daily driver for sure. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what the car is all about. We're gonna get back, unfortunately, we're gonna get back to Jerry Home Dodge and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another amazing day here at Jerry Home Dodge. Definitely gotta thank J-Rod, the rest of the crew, getting us this Sinamon Stick. New color for 2020, really goes well with the Scat Pack Widebody look. And like I said, if you're looking for best bang for your buck, you want that Widebody look, you don't have to go Hellcat and then worry about spinning up the tires every 2 seconds. You'll be able to do your burnout, but it's more usable, naturally aspirated horsepower, and just an awesome feeling. And like I said, great bang for the buck and new color for 2020. It's a win-win-win situation. But if you want to keep seeing muscle cars, and I hope that you do, because I love bringing them to you on Rady's Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rise merch. Got to get it to Crown Vic. He's a MOPAR, no car kind of guy. He's also a fanatic with BMW. So a little bit of German, a little bit of good old US of A. That's what makes Victor so great. So thank you for your hard work, Crown Vic. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.